I have to speak on journalism in the digital age, journalists in the digital age. Well, before I really speak, I have a couple of reservations because this is a diverse group. I have learned that this group consists of delegates from as many as 25 countries. Am I right? That too ranging from Africa, Latin America, Asia. In fact, I love to speak to people from these countries because I have nothing to tell to the advanced countries. So we are very happy. We welcome to the land of culture, history. So, but the problem for me is I really do not know what is the nature and extent of media landscape in your own country. I am sure it will be very diverse. There may be developed media landscapes in a couple of countries, there may not be. I really do not know what is the level of digital penetration in your own countries. I really do not know the extent of freedom journalism enjoys in your nations. Still, I dare to speak on the transition to digital journalism. I am sure if not today, if you have already entered into the digital age, fine. If you don't enter today, you will certainly enter after 5 years or 10 years. So you can be ahead of times in your own country. So my experiences will be based on media in India. So apologize if I am not in a position to contextualize and customize to the learning requirements of each of you given the nature of this group. But it is a proud moment for people like us to speak to information officers, journalists, public relations personnel, media personalities, media entrepreneurs ranging from such a diverse social, economic and cultural media landscapes. So this is the first caveat I want to begin. Given this kind of a diversity, I wish to present my views not based on any textual sources, but essentially derived from my 4 decades of journalistic experience. If I really have to tell from some textual sources, you don't need to come all the way here. You can sit at your home and look in Google to know it. So therefore, my presentation is not theoretical in character, but essentially an experiential learning. I hope and I am sure that that will be of great benefit to you, as you can always read theory anywhere. So based on my personal experiences, I will try to draw certain features, certain principles that you have to keep in mind when you enter the age of digital journalism. So let me first begin. Digital journalism is not something completely different from print and electronic journalism. When we mean print journalism, newspapers, magazines, and a whole range of printed publications. When I mean electronic media, I mean television, radio. When I mean digital journalism, I mean journalism through mediated by internet, like YouTube, like on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, which we call as X, the websites, a wide range of websites. So any journalism mediated by internet, we call it the digital journalism. So let me first tell you the first principle. Based on my own experience, I also started my journey 4 decades ago, precisely in 1985, as a student of journalism. I wrote my first article, the first publication with my byline. Byline in journalistic parlance, we mean the name of the author. So that was in 1985, the first time I got my article published. it was an exciting experience to me and my parents also to see my name in print. Then subsequently, I started speaking on television, radio, and I continue to do even today. I write for the newspapers, I speak for television, but I proceeded along with the technological transition. In the print media, we have moved into 24-hour television. I don't know how many of you have 24-hour news television in your own country, but in our country we have dozens of news channels which dish out news 24 hours. Where you watch that channel, every time you get some or other news. We call them as news updates. So I was participating in the news television, that to live news television, from the day it started. So I moved from print to electronic. When the digital age started, when the internet created altogether new world of journalism, I moved into the digital age. I have my own, I've been writing, if you just type Professor KNageshwar in Google, you will get hundreds of articles which I have written, even written a week ago also, because I love writing even today. Though people are not liking writing, people like to listen and watch, but as we journalists, we love to write. So that is the dichotomy. But a real journalist, true journalist, should not expect people to come to you. You should go where the people are. Am I right? You can't say I am a great person, but people are bloody fellows are not coming to me. That approach is not acceptable in a communicator's mindset. You have to go to the place where people are. That is the reason when the people moved into digital world of seeking and getting information, I have also moved into the digital world. Started writing for my own websites, and I started my own YouTube channel. If you just type Professor KNageshwar in YouTube, you will get my channel in Telugu and English. Unfortunately, I don't find much time to update in English. There are only 16,000 subscribers, over 16,000. But in Telugu, I have 10,84,000 subscribers. Started 7 years ago. So from a modest 1,000 subscriber base to now I have over 1 million subscribers. Starting with couple of lakh views every month. Now I have 1 crore views every month. So that is my journalistic journey. Based on this experience, let me tell you one principle. Many will say the digital journalism is different, television journalism is different, print journalism is different. I do agree with them, they are different. But the core aspect is the same. That core aspects of all forms of journalism is the same. The only difference is adaptability. Some may wear a shirt, some may wear a sari, some may wear a dhoti, that's a traditional Indian dress. Some may wear lungi, which is also a traditional dress. Some may wear a gown like the British, or some may wear something else. But the core ingredient is essentially clothing. Am I right? So similarly, whether it is print, television, electronic, digital, the core element remains the same. The form varies, the speed varies, the adaptability matters, but the core elements of journalism remain the same. What are those core elements of journalism? The core element of journalism is judging what is news. Judging what is news is the core element. So the core element of journalism is essentially the same. That is the unique aspect of journalism. So the ability to understand what is news. What is news varies from place to place. What is news in your country will not be news in my country. Am I right? suppose a delegate has come from Sri Lanka. Something happens in Sri Lanka will be news in Sri Lanka. But for me, what Anurag Kumar Disnayake, has he moved away from the Rajapaksa's legacy, or is he distinctly different from Rajapaksa's legacy? Or why Anurag Kumar Disnayake and his party Janata Vimukti Peramana JVP has shot up from 3% vote in one election to 42% vote in another election? Why, when the left in India is declining, why the left in Sri Lanka shot up to power? So this is a news for me. What is happening internally in Sri Lanka may not be news for me. There is a delegate from Armenia. What is happening in Armenia, everything else may not be news for me, whom I in India in a distant. But why Armenia and Azerbaijan fight for Nagorno-Karabakh? Why India is selling arms to Armenia? Because Pakistan was supported by Azerbaijan during the recent India-Pak war. So when India's hostile neighbor supports Armenia's hostile neighbor, India and Armenia become friends. So this is news for me. So far away from Armenia, far away in Sri Lanka, far away in Kenya, Gambia, Namibia, Cuba, Ivory Coast, the context of news vary from country to country. But given in your own country, how do you judge the news? So how do you judge the news? That is the biggest core element. When you judge what is news, you write for a newspaper, you report for television, you write for your own YouTube channel, you can write for your own blog, it hardly matters. So the first core element is judging what is news. News judgment is the critical element of journalism. The critical element of journalism and the greatest element of journalism according to me is judging what is news. Judging what is news. Why there is a controversy on a dam construction in Ethiopia. So that is news for me. Whatever happens in Ethiopia may not be news for me. Why what happens in Iraq, everything is not news for me. So therefore you have to judge what is news. That's number one. Number two, the writing skill. The ability to put a point in a meaningful manner. The ability to put an idea in an understandable way, in a communicable way, is the art of journalism. Well, it again varies. If it is for a print, you have the liberty of time and space. You can, if something happens today morning, suppose you are writing for a newspaper, you are listening to my lecture. So you have a day's time, perhaps late in the night, you have to file a report. What Professor KNageshwar said on digital journalism. So you have few hours of time to recollect what I have said, to go through your notes in a very leisurely manner and file a report. If it is television, you don't have the time. The deadlines, you operate on almost zero deadlines, because live television reporting essentially mean you report as things happen. Digital journalism is much more faster. So as the things happen, you are sitting in my class, you listen to me, you record a small bit, post it on the Facebook. You take a photograph, share it in the X. So you just write based on what I have said. Professor KNageshwar said that the core element of news is essentially the same. Delivering a lecture to the officers of 25 officers, journalists, media entrepreneurs of over 25 countries in Dr. MCR Institute of Human Resource Development, noted journalist KNageshwar said. So you go on writing as I am speaking. So that is the digital journalism. The speed with which you report, you write matters, but the art of communication, art of writing, art of speaking, art of expressing something is the basis of all forms of communication. So that is the question is adaptability. How do you adapt to a situation? So therefore the transition, if you are in print journalism, do not think that you cannot enter digital journalism. If you are in a digital journalism, do not have a false notion that you can't write for a newspaper. Based on my experience, I am telling, I write for newspapers, I speak on television. Just before coming here till 10 o'clock, I was on a live television bulletin. From 8:30 to 10, I was speaking on a Telugu news television, and I came here at 11:30. So again, after 2 p.m., I go to my home. I have built a soundproof studio at home. In my home, I have purchased another apartment next to my apartment and built a small studio, and I go on speaking from that studio. Even if you just see my channel, Professor KNageshwar in YouTube, you will find a video posted a hour ago also. Just type Professor KNageshwar in YouTube, see, you find a video posted just a hour ago. So I have posted a video at 11 o'clock before getting into the car. So this is how journalism operates in the contemporary age. So the transition from one mode of journalism to another mode is absolutely easy. It is not a difficult thing, it is not a rocket science. The theory that different media have a different methodology is absolutely erroneous. So that's my first assumption. Some may not agree with me, but based on my experience, I strongly advocate. I am sure there are some people who can write well but can't speak well. There are journalists who can speak very well but can't write. But there are equally good number of people like me who write well and speak well also. So depending on individual human trait, the things may vary, but it is not the problem of the media per se. It is the problem of the individual per se. So that's the point number one I want to emphasize. The point number two, I will speak for 45 minutes or so. I was told that this is a very highly interactive group. I am really happy, so I would love to take question from you. If you get something, please jot it down and ask me after my lecture, so that I can be of more relevance to you. Because as I already told you, I have a problem in to be meaningfully relate to you, essentially given the diverse background and the void that exists between my understanding of media and your understanding of media. So therefore, I request you to note down the question if you have. I will certainly give the enough time so that we can have an truly interactive session. So I told you the first point about the transition from one form of journalism to another form of journalism. The second point is, there is a wonderful opportunity in digital journalism which hitherto does not exist in the print and electronic. What are the wonderful opportunities? I write an article for a newspaper. Do I know who read it? Do I know how many people read it? Do I know did they like or not? Do I know what they think about my article? Absolutely nothing. It is only one-way communication. Many editors have self-prophecy. They think that if you meet an editor, they will tell, my readers do not like it, as if that fellow met readers next day, last day evening. My readers do not want this. This is absolute nonsense. It is not the reader. It is the thinking of an editor who assumes that his readers do not like it or his readers like it. But there is no way you can measure the audience feedback. There is no way you can engage with audience except the archaic method of writing letters to the editor. And how many people really write letters to the editors? How many have patience? That's the reason in India we find there are a generation of letter writers who are repeaters. They only write every time. Sometimes in editorial desk, when you don't find more sufficient readers to write, our sub-editors write letters in some other's name and publish it. Am I right? This happens in every newspaper. So this is the problem with the print. Electronic. I speak something. How many people are really watched it? What did they think about it? Absolutely no idea. There is a rating systems, I don't know in your countries, but in our country we have broadcast audience rating system called BARC. But that is, there are several complaints against it. I don't know how authentic it is. There are allegations of manipulation by media organizations. It is not scientific in character, highly biased. So there is no way you know what audience think. But digital journalism gives you an opportunity to understand your audience. I am not telling complete understanding, but at least you can get a semblance of audience viewpoint. Suppose I upload a video on YouTube. I upload a video on Facebook. I have my own account on Facebook with a 1 lakh followers. I have my own account in X with over 500,000 followers. So when I post a video in YouTube, the moment I post, 10,84,000 people get the message that if they are all my subscribers get a message that KNageshwar has posted the video. When they watch the video, they can comment on it, they can share it, they can like it. Earlier there was dislike, but now dislike is removed because some people are organizedly disliking. So the YouTube has removed it. So, but people comment so that I get a feel, not a representative idea of my audience opinion, but I get a feel of what audience think. Some video get a 1 lakh views, some video gets 5,000 views. So what is being watched by audience? I will know the time spent. It is called audience analytics. Pardon me if you already have an idea, because I don't have an idea on what you have an idea. So that's the problem. So it is called audience analytics. So if I know what my audience analytics, how many countries people are watching, how many people are watching in Telugu, how many people are watching AI, using AI to watch the same video in English, how many people in what geography they are watching, what time they are watching, what is their approximate age group, gender, their demography, how much time did they watch, which device they use, Android phone or iPhone, absolutely entire data I have. What time people are watching my channel, which is the maximum viewership time for me. If I know that there are more viewers on my channel at a particular point of time, I will post my video at that point of time. Otherwise, why will I waste my video? So this is called audience analytics. So you have a reasonably much better idea of what your audience think, which is unavailable in the print and electronic media. This is the second point. Using audience analytics, you can always change, always make amendments to your content based on audience interest. So every journalist have that. Third, This digital journalism is highly democratized form of communication. What do you mean by democratization of media? Before the advent of digital age, I am a very good journalist. I am a prolific writer. I can create and produce a wonderful newspaper. Still I can't do because I do not have the means to do it. Unless I am a big capitalist who afford to invest heavily, who afford to burn his fingers every month by spending money, I can't run a newspaper. If I want to write an article and reach my reader, I have no independence. I have to request some editor to publish it, and my opportunity and ability to reach people through my articles is not in my hands. It is in the hands of an editor, mercy of an editor. Similarly, the television. I feel speaking on something. I feel this is worth speaking. I feel this is very, very important. But can I do that? Some TV channel has to ask me. Otherwise, I have to convince some other TV channel to broadcast something. So I do not have control over what I can say, what I can write, but the digital world gives me this opportunity. I am a master of my own journalism. I want to write something, I write and publish in my blog. I want to speak something, I speak and upload it on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. I want to write something. If there is no newspaper to publish, I will publish on my Facebook. I will publish in a brief, it is very brief, I will publish on my X account. So I will publish on my LinkedIn account. I can publish, I can participate in a discussion on Reddit. So this is called the democratization of media. So it is a great opportunity. Media which was once in the hands of money, those who have money, today it is liberated from the capital. So you don't need to be a big capitalist to own a media. You can have your own media. So the digital age created a media entrepreneurship, a culture of media entrepreneurship. You are the master of your own media. Today my YouTube channel has a better viewership than many TV channels also. I compete with the TV channels with whose setup. So I am much more faster, quicker than the mainstream media. For example, yesterday Saudi Arabia and Pakistan entered into a defense deal, a NATO type defense deal called the Comprehensive Mutual Defense Agreement. If you read today's newspapers, I don't know whether you have read, you had an opportunity to read, this news appears on the page 1 of today's newspapers. But I have spoken on this topic 15 hours ago. So I have given a detailed analysis on Saudi-Pakistan nuclear deal. It's there on my English channel also. If you type Professor KNageshwar English in YouTube, you will get it. A 13-minute video which already had 2,000 views. But if you see my Telugu channel, the video is there with already 40,000 views. Well, as I told you, my Telugu channel is very popular because I am very regular on that, and English channel I do now and then. But still there are around 2,000 people who have watched on my English channel the Saudi-Pakistan nuclear deal. So I am ahead of newspapers. I am ahead of TV channels also. Even before the TV channels analyzed, I spoke on the topic. So now this is called the media entrepreneurship. I am the master of my own space. I am the viewer, not just the creator. We the journalist got an opportunity. Even the viewer got an opportunity because it's a video on demand. If you want to watch news on television, you have to sit on the before the television. You have to watch at that point in time. It is an half-an-hour bulletin. You may like only 3-minute element in it, but you have to watch for 30 minutes. to know that 3 minutes which you like. On the contrary, if you are a consumer of digital news, you are simply watch the video which you wanted. You don't have the burden of watching everything which you may not be of interest. That is the reason worldwide YouTube is emerging as major source of news also. The latest study also reveals, Pew Research study reveals, right from United States to India, the new trend is YouTube is fast replacing television and print media as a source of news. So this is the new world which is emerging, which is convenient both to the creator and also to the consumer of news and information. So this is called the democratization of media. This is called the media entrepreneurial landscape unveiled by the digital age. Not only for you and me as journalists, even for a common reader who had hitherto never had an opportunity to express his viewpoint. He was a passive consumer of information dished out by people like you and me. Today he is also an active participant. So if I write an article and post it on Facebook, if I comment on Saudi Arabia-Pakistan defense deal, a viewer has an opportunity to comment, express his own opinion. Not just if he has his own YouTube channel, fine, otherwise also he can express in the same way. So it is a two-way communication. It unveiled a phenomenon called citizen journalism. Citizen journalism is practiced even in the print and electronic media, but this is the highest form of citizen journalism. Every citizen who has a social media account is a journalist today. It has its own set of problems. It has led to mushrooming of people who speak, comment on anything under the sun. It has led to information overload. It has led to trivialization of news space. It has its own negative dimensions, negative fallout, but certainly it empowers ordinary citizens to speak, to write, to comment, which was hitherto privilege of few journalists and media outlets. So this is called the democratization of media space, not just for journalists, but even for citizens. So that's the third dimension which has come. The fourth dimension is, until now I told you the positive aspects. Let me also focus on certain undesirable trends triggered by digital journalism. The first undesirable trend triggered by digital journalism is the extreme polarization of society. You have Charlie Kirk phenomenon on one side, Antifa phenomenon on other side. If you regularly follow US news, Charlie Kirk, a young conservative Republican, just 31 years, created a phenomenon of conservative information explosion. He was unfortunately killed, allegedly by the other extreme group. So there is a polarization of American society and American public sphere by the far left on one side, far right on one side, far left on the other side. You have seen in United Kingdom the combination of xenophobia and Islamophobia, which means hatred for foreigners and hatred for Muslims. So there is over 1 lakh people participated in the far right protest, anti-immigration protest, supported by people like Elon Musk and Alternate for Germany Party of Germany, the French far right leadership, and opposed by thousands of people who are left liberals and secular people and who are rights activists who do not accept this far right tendency. So there is a polarization of societies by the digital spaces, because the way the algorithms operate intensify this trend. How do algorithms operate? The Facebook is a media company, YouTube is a media company. They are not charity organizations. They are not philanthropic outlets. Am I right? They are essentially in the world of business. What a businessman wants, he or she wants to retain the people who have come to their platform. What a supermarket owner wants, he wants the customer who has entered into his supermarket to spend more time in supermarket, buy more things. So similarly, digital platforms want to retain audience. To retain audience, what they do is, using algorithm, they study the profile of audience based on your browsing history, based on your GPS data, based on your many other things. They identify who you are. So the moment they do the profiling, they do micro targeting also. So if you are watching Professor KNageshwar's videos regularly, wherever I speak, the YouTube suggests you like this man, you may like again. So wherever I speak, they go on serving you. So like that, if you are here in the dining hall, you liked a particular sweet. Next day, what that server will do? Oh, you have liked this sweet last time, no? Why don't you eat? So similarly, they go on serving the information which you like. This is called confirmation bias. Every individual wants to seek, procure information that confirms his own personal bias. As a result, you get a something called echo chamber. There is a called echo chamber effect in media. As a result, the polarization intensifies. And the other problem with the digital age is, due to anonymity of people who are watching, who are viewing, who run into millions and millions and millions of people. If all those who are subscribed to Facebook are arranged in a particular geography, they become the third largest country after China and India. So many people are there on the Facebook. If you want to watch every video so far posted in YouTube, do you know how many years it takes to watch? So, not an entire content. If you want to watch the content uploaded on YouTube, you will require 70 years to watch. So within these 70 years, how much of content is uploaded? There is a unbelievable, humongous extent of content that is exploded on the digital world. In print, you have space limit, 10, 12 pages, 14 pages. In television, you have time limit, 24 hours. But in digital space, there is no limit. You can simultaneously provide any amount of information also. As a result, there is an information explosion. This information explosion results in anonymity of those who are reading or watching. As a result, when you are anonymous, your true character comes out. If you are in a socialized setting, when you are in a group of people, your behavior changes, not your, my and everybody's behavior. The moment you are in an anonymous condition, your true character comes out. As a result, there is hate mongering on digital space, there is a cyber bullying in the digital space. So this hate mongering, cyber bullying, the ethnic biases, the racial biases get reinforced and spill over into society, unfortunately due to the digital landscape, media landscape. So these are all challenges. There are certainly challenges. There is also a problem of accuracy. Accuracy becomes a casualty because of the speed with which you have to provide information. You are a newspaper journalist, you have sufficient time to verify, re-verify whether a content is correct or wrong. But in a digital space, unfortunately, you don't have time. you have to comment immediately. There is a time to check, verify, accurate. So the first function of a media is a credible information function. So that credible information function of the media is rudely shaken by the speed with which the digital journalism operates. So you have to strike a balance between the speed and accuracy of the content which you are providing. And there is also the problem of sources. If you type something in internet, you will get hundreds and hundreds of sources of information. It is extremely difficult to judge whether it is correct source or wrong source. And even these generative AI platforms like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, the growth of Elon Musk, quite often there are allegations of growth functioning like a rogue. So you have Facebook, Meta, all these AI-enabled platforms, they are trained on data. They are trained on a given set of data. If there is a bias in the data, obviously there will be bias in the kind of information which ChatGPT gives. So you can't depend on ChatGPT every time. ChatGPT minus mind, brain is disastrous. So ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or Meta are only tools. They are not end in itself, they are only means. A good journalist uses these tools. If they are only tools, your car is only a vehicle that takes you to the place you want to go, but it can't decide the place you want to go. So if you sit in a car and you do not know where to go, will the car take you to that place? So car is only a tool. If you ask the car to go to Warangal, it will go to Warangal. If you don't tell anything, I think you are going tomorrow. That is the reason I gave that example. I get the feedback before I come here. So you are going to Warangal tomorrow. So if you sit in a car and only when you order the driver to go to Warangal, you will go. Otherwise, will you go? Will the car on its own take you to Warangal? Similarly, the ChatGPT, the digital, the AI sources are only tools. Never, a journalist should never become slave in the hands of tools. Tools should be slave in the hands of a journalist. So, a journalist should prevail over tools. Tools should not prevail over journalists. So, therefore, I am sure you are trained on how ChatGPT can be used in journalism, how Perplexity AI can be used in journalism, but all that is essentially, all of them are essentially tools. So ultimately it is your brain which matters. Many journalists do not use the brain. If you mechanically depend on if you mechanically depend on these tools, then you will be doing a big disservice to the world of journalism. So I think I should briefly stop here, so that I was told that you are a very interactive group, so I should benefit from your interaction also. So that is the reason I am stopping here. It is not an exhaustive lecture on what the digital journalism is, but certainly I have put forth enough fodder for brainstorming. Based on your questions, I will use the time available to me. Okay, come on, now start. It is your time now. Please introduce yourself so that I will know the context. These questions will help me what you really want also.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. First of all, thank you for this lecture about the digital journalism. And as you said, the journalist should overcome or control the tools, not vice versa. So you don't believe that many occupations will disappear in the coming days because of the digital era? You don't believe that there are lots of tools in AI and digitally could take over the place of humans?
Well,
Thank you.
what is the impact of artificial intelligence on the future of journalists in terms of employment? Am I right? Well, I do agree, because you are having AI anchors also. I don't know whether you have AI anchors in your televisions. So there are robots which are interviewing. There was an exhibition in Delhi where a robo interviewed our Prime Minister also. So you have AI anchors, you have AI summary. Earlier in the pre-digital age, the sub-editor used to summarize the content. But today you type any Indian publication, I am sure with other publications also, you will find a AI summary. Just type anything in Google, you will get AI summary first. You type India Today. For any news, there is a 2-line, 3-line AI summary. And they will also mention, did our AI summary help you? Please tell, because they are in the testing phase. So AI is doing the work which a sub-editor used to do, perhaps with greater efficiency and speed also. Similarly, today you are also having AI edited stories also. The artificial intelligence edits the story. So that's true. But technology always replaces one thing with other. You can't avoid. You can't avoid that. But it also creates a completely new world of opportunities also. When computers arrived, there were apprehension that computers will replace humans. It is true that the computers replace certain human activities, but myriad other activities were created. Similarly, today in the digital age, there are certain things. For example, the Prime Minister is addressing a public meeting. Earlier, you have to send a reporter to the place with spending a lot of resources and report, listen to what Prime Minister said and report. Today, you are sitting in a television, before television, listening to the Prime Minister and typing your story. So this is a technology. Or you are watching live on a digital platform and you just type what the Prime Minister is speaking. So that is the reason there are things that are changing. Yeah, it's true that they are changing. So, but still AI is also created an unbelievable opportunity for journalists to get information also. Today I want to comment on, I don't know which country do you belong to? Which country?
Sorry for not introducing myself. I am Wala from Egypt.
You are from Egypt. So, for example, recently there was a conference of Arab League countries and Organization of Islamic countries. Yes. Around 40 nations attended. Egypt made a proposal for a Arab Islamic NATO. Am I right? Yes. So, with Egypt as a headquarters, with Cairo as an headquarters, because Egypt as the Cairo as headquarters. So I had to speak on that Arab Islamic NATO to understand why Egypt is leading the discussion, to understand why Egypt proposed that the headquarters of this probable Arab Islamic NATO will be in Cairo. Why? So the Egypt also proposed that the commander will be Egyptian first, which will be rotated. To know this, in the earlier times I had to go and read a book, speak to an expert, it takes one day. Today I got the information that Egypt has 4.5 lakh army, am I right? Egypt has the largest army in the entire Arab world. So I knew this information sitting in Hyderabad, thanks to internet, thanks to artificial intelligence, which maximizes, which gives me everything about Egypt. So Egypt has as largest army than any other Arab nation. Egypt has proposed 20,000 troops initially with the Cairo as an headquarters to the Arab Islamic NATO. So how my life has become so simple if I know how to use that tool information. So in my English video is also there on this Saudi Arabia-Pakistan deal, which I also mentioned about this Arab Islamic NATO in that video. So I spoke in my own language, Telugu and English. So this is how the journalism is enriched. Journalism is facilitated by technology, whether it is internet or today artificial intelligence. But believe me, in any technological evolution, mediocrity will lose its value. If you are mediocre, if you are mundane, if you are very, very low talent, low skill, certainly it will remove your job. Only thing is you will have to become more skilled. And so it has its own bias in favor of better skills. So it is a benefit for some, it is a loss for some other, but it is a benefit for the society as a whole, because it improves efficiency, it creates a new world of opportunities altogether. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm Mahesh from Sri Lanka. So this is my question, sir. We are experiencing the digital world at the moment. So as a region as well as South Asia and the Middle East, we are experiencing the number of riots and the struggles which were derived from the digital media and the social media. So formerly we experienced in the Middle East. Recently we experienced in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and the Nepal. So what are your views on these particular incidents which creates?
So I'm sure social media played a very important role in our Aragalia movement. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes. Sure.
Is it called Aragalia?
Yes.
I hope I pronounced it properly.
Aragalaya.
So I don't. It's
Struggle. Its meaning in
Aragalia.
Aragalaya. Yes.
Aragalia.
Yes.
Well, it's a Simile word, I think. Am I right?
Yes.
So I can't pronounce in the way a Simile person speaks. So I don't know whether you are Simile or Tamil, your mother tongue, but that pronunciation is always there. Okay. So Aragalia. So that means, so I'm sure the younger generation, Nepal is also Gen Z protest. The Egypt has seen Arab Spring. It started from Tunisia. The Facebook helped people to mobilize. It's not right on my part to comment on developments in Egypt right in front of our Egyptian delegate sitting here. But these are all movements. The positive aspect of that is it led to a new forms of organization of people in countries with diverse freedoms also. So it gives an opportunity to network, to share. For example, in Nepal, the anger of Gen Z is absolutely, I think, legitimate. I don't think there is a Nepali delegate here. But even if Nepali delegate here, it is my opinion. It's a classroom where we can share our opinions fairly with freedom. You may not agree, I may not agree with you, you may not agree with me. So that doesn't matter. But the result is different. In Sri Lanka, I don't know whether you agree with me, it led to an organized political change, resulting in a stable government. The people's anger is channelized democratically, which led to a change with stability. There may be ifs and buts, but it changed with stability. In Bangladesh, it took a different turn. The Islamists gained greater control. In Nepal, there is a hope and despair. Hope because the corrupt system is crumbling with the weight of Gen Z revolution aided and up by the social media. But you really do not know what to do. So social media can help in organizing people, but unless social and political forces that are behind it channelizes in a proper way, the result may not always be the same. That is the reason Arab Spring dissipated over a period of time. The Bangladesh protest resulted in a more fundamentalist regime coming to power. Sri Lanka moved towards a progressive change. Nepal is in a hour of uncertainty. So the Gen Z wants watch social media platforms and decide public policy. Governments cannot be made and unmade in social media. They have to be done in societies. Social media is only a vehicle of expression. So any media determinism is also not advisable. You can't allow media and social media to define and determine how democracies evolve. Ultimately, it is the people who have to do. So the social media fuels discontent. Social media helps organize protest around the discontent. But the consequence of those protests did essentially depend on the social and political forces that operate in a given country. That is the reason the result in Sri Lanka, the result in Egypt, Arab Spring, the result in Tunisia, the result in Bangladesh, and the result in Nepal are not the same. I hope I answered your question, Mahesh.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Your name is similar to our Telugu names.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir. My name is William from Uganda.
From
Uganda.
Uganda. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Uganda is a great nation, but you have the information bias in the world. We know only Idi Amin's here, which is not, I think, good feature. Am I right? I love to know more about Uganda and the proud African people, but unfortunately, the media is so biased, they only tell me the darkest aspects.
Yeah, sure. And that's one of the problems we have. Because in some countries, they have, bad things going around.
So
but they make sure that
bad things go on in every country.
Yeah, but they make
only
sure
thing is if you throw light only on bad things, there's a problem.
Yeah, they make sure that the media doesn't project that.
Yeah,
it only projects the good side.
Yeah, sorry for interruption. Come.
So you talked about being a journalist and being able to probably do different fields. You can be able to write, be able to do TV, but some of us in our countries we've been made to probably specialize in different categories of media, and it's a bit tricky to do probably three. But now that social media is there, a few things have come in handy. So I was wondering, how can someone probably juggle around, probably a writer, you're doing radio, you're doing TV. Is it even possible?
Well, that's a good question. I did not tell you to do all the things at a time. For example, take my own example. I have a massive following on YouTube, but absolutely very less on Instagram. I have only 1,000 followers on Instagram. I have 10,84,000 subscribers on YouTube, 1 lakh on Facebook, 50,000 on Twitter and X. So I am also not equally proficient and prolific on every digital channel. Forget about other. So I did not tell that you should always do on everything. It is practically not possible also. You will not find time to do, because Instagram believes in short videos. Instagram, the content of Instagram is little different, more on lifestyle, fashion, entertainment. I am not in that field at all. I am in a very serious socio-political field. So therefore, but I am only telling that there is a convergence of the media also. Today, every printed newspaper is also available online. Am I right? Take anything. You take CNN, every New York Times is online, Washington Post is online, our Indian newspaper, The Hindu, the Times of India. So every printed newspaper has a website. They also have a YouTube also. They may not be very active sometimes, but today every news publication is trying to have presence on every platform. Some may be equally good at both, some may not be equally good. But you have a YouTube channel for TV, you have a YouTube. So this is called convergence of media. If the content is disseminated across platforms. I post a video on YouTube channel, I post it on LinkedIn, I post it on Twitter, perhaps even I may use it to write an article also. So there is a convergence of media which gives an opportunity to multimedia journalism. But not necessarily you have to be multimedia in nature. You can always specialize any one of them. But the point I am telling is, in the name of specialization, you cannot live in silos. Imagine that you are a print journalist, you can't move into digital age. All of us who are I am a digital journalist today, but I am also a print journalist. I was a print journalist, I am a print journalist even today. So many people who are commenting on television are essentially from the print also. You have many people who lost jobs on television, they started their own YouTube channels and doing more and much better. You have Ravish Kumar, a very famous journalist who won the Magsas Award also, with a very critic of the present government in India. So he was in NDTV, and NDTV is taken over by a big businessman called Gautam Adani, who is essentially the alleged friend of our Prime Minister. So he was shunted out because he is a critic of our Prime Minister. And Ravish Kumar started his own YouTube channel, and he is reaching out to millions and millions of people. Till yesterday he is a television journalist, today he is a digital journalist. So that is the transition which is possible. I was only telling about the possibility and the feasibility of transition. I am not telling that you should always write, comment, speak on every platform. It is your choice, your convenience, and your passion to be on any one platform also. Yeah.
Less questions, any other clarification?
Because more questions will help me to understand what you exactly need. Because I have not got into the minute skill point of view. What kind of skills are required? Because I was expecting that you already have some expertise. So I can't undermine your expertise and tell you the basic skills. But certainly if there are questions, I can always answer them.
Thank you. I'm Wanachai from Thailand.
Thailand.
Yes.
Good.
And that's interesting.
I spoke on why Thailand and Cambodia fought for a Hindu temple.
That should be the great content, right? And
I spoke on how the Thailand Prime Minister got into trouble by speaking to Cambodian king, and which is leaked.
Unbelievable, you know a lot, a lot more than me.
So I'm not asking you to comment on that. Yeah. I know your reservations. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's show how capable you are to make use of your brand, electronic and print media experience and skills to transition to make a transition to the new digital platforms. That's what exactly I would like to get you to share how our mainstream media, a couple of us engaged in nowadays. How can we make use of our brand or trademarks or journalism, mainstream journalism, to promote the digital platform, let's say like YouTube or X, to be successful, because there is some instance in my country as well that you showed the example before about those who lose job from mainstream media, which happened a couple of years ago in the disruptive times, very turbulent at that time. So many people lose job, even the big channels. There is some channel called Money Channel, very popular and very valuable. So one of the announcers in this channel lose job, and finally she ends up being the YouTubers, and now she's been very successful, even more than in the past. So what is the technique, or what is your advice in terms of making use of our brand as a journalism, or as a real journalism to be successful in the social media creators?
Well, I think the question which I understood is what are the techniques of become a popular social media journalist. Am I right?
Right.
So like a popular YouTuber like me,
right,
or somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, the first technique is ability to instantaneously comment, because digital media works in a culture of immediacy. So I can't say if something happens, I can't say I'll speak after 1 day. I can't speak after 10 days. So that if you speak immediately, there will be a huge response. Thailand, Cambodia fought on border. If I speak on this topic now, nobody will watch, am I right? So you'll have to be on 24-hour basis. That doesn't mean you don't sleep. So you'll have to be very, very immediate, culture of immediacy. That is number one technique. Number two technique is tell a lot of things in as brief as possible. That is the principle of journalism, even in print, even in television. Digital journalism, normally attention span is less, but it again varies. I have videos, 1 hour videos of mine with lakhs of views, but normally you are advised to be as brief as possible, because in the digital world the attention span is very less. So in newspaper, in a newspaper, when you are reading one newspaper, to throw it away and take another newspaper, it takes a lot of time. In a TV channel, you have a remote in your hand, you can very easily move to another channel. In digital, it is much more faster. So therefore, to retain the audience attention, you should be, generally it is advised to be brief with exceptions. As I told you, I am myself an exception with lakhs of views for a long videos also. So you should have the ability, you should acquire the ability to give information in a capsule form to meet the requirement of lesser attention span. Third is the use of visual, audio, graphics. I don't do anything in my channel, I only speak, but normally it is advisable to present it in a more attractive manner, using graphics, using visuals, using lot of things, but I don't have so much resources, and so therefore I specialize only in speaking. You will find only me in many of my videos also. In some of my videos there are other visuals also, but in many of my videos, the video which I do at home, there are no visuals. I only one visual myself. So, but normally you should have a visual presentation skill. If you don't have, you should have somebody to help you also. That's the third. Fourth is balance the speed with accuracy. So you have to give information very fast. That doesn't mean you should not be accurate. 5, you have to study the audience analytics regularly. What matters, what is of interest to the audience. 6, you should have audience engagement also. Like if you have time, you can reply to the comments. You have to share that content across other social media. So that you have to build your own community of people who read you, who watch you. So this is another technique. So these are all basic techniques to become very popular. 7 is patience. You don't become popular overnight on YouTube. As I told you, when I started in 2018 January, my YouTube journey, I was an editor of a newspaper till October. I was also a professor of journalism. So I resigned as an editor. For 3 months I was wondering what to do besides my teaching assignment in the university. Then I started my YouTube channel. Do you know, in the month of January, I had only 2.5 lakh views, 1,000 subscribers. In the month of August, I had 93 lakh views, 93 lakh, where is 2.5 lakh, where is 93 lakh? And I have 10 lakh 84,200 subscribers today. So you have to have patience also. Constantly study what content is selling in the sense is getting popular, what content is not popular, why is it not popular. So this kind of audience research you'll have to do on a regular basis to become popular. And again the same news value, something is being contested, something is being debated, something is being discussed, so something which is timely, something which is of curiosity, these are things which obviously tell. And you should have small techniques like writing correct attractive headline, the thumbnail, all these are elements to attract the viewer. But ultimately content is the king. If you have good content, continuously, patiently go on uploading. It takes little more time to get the virality. But once you get the virality, nothing to look back also. I hope I answered your question. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, Professor. My name is Kalumbulumpa from Zambia. We have well appreciated the fact that we are moving into the digital space in terms of journalism and the dissemination of information. Now, I want to get your views, your thoughts with regards access to news, information on digital platforms. I know for a fact that in Africa, in most communities, we still have an issue of access to digital platforms, and we may not just take it for granted that everyone will have access to these digital platforms. How do we then, as media journalists, navigate the issue of moving to digital platforms and also navigating the issue of access? How do we bridge that gap if we are to reach the audiences that we want to reach with what we are publishing?
Well, you're right. If your country doesn't permit a free flow of information, I do agree it's not so easy. Because if the government has a lot of restrictions on, for reasons best known to them, they may be valid, they may not be valid, because all societies are not similar. So there are dissimilar conditions in different countries. There are countries where there is a social unrest, there are countries, there are ethnic strife, there are countries which are very unstable. So for different reasons, the governments in their own wisdom might have imposed certain restrictions. Sometimes the very character of the governments may not be democratic enough to allow free flow of information. So you can't do anything, use the digital acts, or else you come out of the country and get into some other country and do. If you are a journalist in Afghanistan, well, the country has too many restrictions on freedom of expression. So if you are a journalist in Afghanistan, so you have to learn what law permits there, what governments permit there, and operate in the domain only. You can't be a rebel. unless you want to be. If you want to be, whom am I to stop you? So you have to understand, for example, in certain countries, the political content may not be allowed, but other content may be allowed. So you have to use the form of content that is allowed on the digital spaces. So in certain countries, the very people's access to digital world is also small. In our country, in the YouTube, for example, YouTube started in 2009. Till 2012-13 in our country also, internet spread is limited. The cost of internet was very high. The technology, the mobile phones are also, not all the phones are not smartphones. So in our country, in India also, it's only a last decade phenomenon. Obviously, the stage of development in certain countries may be 10 years backward also. In some other countries, 10 years forward also. So depending on the level of development and the kind of technology available, the freedom that is allowed, you will have to calibrate on all those factors. So that's the only way you can. Otherwise, I can't advise you to get into trouble. So you'll have to operate in that given domain which you have. So you are the best judge of how things happen. So learn to understand the limitations. Learn to optimize the freedom and facilities you have. First, so do not complain about lack of freedom and facilities when you are not even using optimally. Many people complain many things without optimally utilizing the facilities. So there are problems in every country. There are challenges in every country. So, but you'll have to learn to operate in that kind of a context. Am I right? So, thank you.
Sir, one more question. So that you said earlier that we should access to the information very quickly when regarding the political issues or any other news items which prevail in other countries. So according to experience, how could you access to such information very quickly from your experience? Can you let us know, sir? Well,
first of all, you should have the passion. I work for 17 hours a day. Unless and until I have some other work, I read, I write, I speak. Morning 7 to night 11, 12. So it's a madness. So it's a passion, or you can call it a madness. I have a huge learning appetite. So that's the reason when Sri Lanka like you ask, I speak with Sri Lankan examples. When somebody from Egypt speaks, I immediately started with Egyptian example. When a Thai guy spoke, I started with Thai. When somebody from Gambia asked, immediately I'm thinking about the rich mineral reserves of Gambia, including the rare earth metals. Unfortunately, African nations have huge resources, but the colonial and neo-colonial exploitation made them to lead a life in which they are now living. So I was thinking about Gambia when he said I am from Gambia. So what I do is I subscribe to 12 printed newspapers available here in Hyderabad. I am online subscription to another 15-20 newspapers, and I also subscribe to websites, subscribe and read many other sources on internet. For example, you want to know something about economy. You have an authentic source of economy. We have called Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. We have Bloomberg. You have the World Bank. You have several other sources. So these are all kinds of sources which are regularly followed. You may have a question. Sir, how is it humanly possible to read 50-60 sources every day? I don't claim that I read. I surf. There's a difference between surfing and reading. Surfing is I go on reading the headlines. Based on my experience, if I read the headline, I will understand what will be there inside with a 70% accuracy. Sometimes I may read the highlights. Sometimes I may read couple of paras or the subheadings so that I get to know whether this is useful for me. So I immediately store it in my digital library kind of a thing on my mobile or system, and I go back to it when I wanted it. If I want to read on, for example, the Arab Islamic summit that happened at Qatar, if I want to read about Israel attack on Qatar, based on the topic, which is a vertical learning, based on the topic I go on digging deep. The horizontal method of acquiring information is reading generally all the sources to know what is happening in the world today. The moment I zero in on a topic, I start reading more on the topic till I get a satisfaction that I can speak on this topic with reasonable authenticity and credibility. Then I speak. Fortunately, I have a huge memory which is in terabytes. So that's a fortunate thing. So, well, I process. I have a brain which is fairly very efficient in processing information, and immediately speak. If I read 5,000 word article, the moment I read that article, I can speak half an hour without even looking at a piece of paper. I can summarize that 5,000 word article in 30 minutes. Immediately after reading, without even second reading also, without taking any notes also. Well, this may not be there with everybody. If you can't, you take notes, you read second time, you try to identify important points, so the effort, more effort is needed. But certainly, if you can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If someone else can do it, we can always do it. Only few countries are monopolizing. I don't know why there are 25 countries. I think only 4 nations represented: Egypt, Gambia, Sri Lanka, Thailand. Am I right? Only 4 countries.
Yeah, the other countries shall represent yourselves through questions to have clarification from sir. Anyone from other countries whom have not?
Because you have 25 countries, only 4 nations, 2 Africans, 2 Asians.
Yes.
Latin America is totally unrepresented. I believe in a democratic world order.
Yeah, even there. Yes.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Dominican Republic.
From Dominican Republic.
Yes,
Fortunately, I know very little about your country. Next time I come, I will read about your country and come. Yeah.
Yes, please. I don't have a question now, but I want to say something about the question that your country.
Yeah, please.
About that. When people think about social media, they think like it's only to be active and post. The truth is that we have to do it, but with a strategy. We need to understand the audience that we have and how to talk with them, understand what they need. And I think this is so important to grow in social media. It's not only post and be active. You need to understand what they need to, and what is the best way to talk with them. And that's it.
I think how to understand what the viewers want. Am I right? Can you repeat? Can you clarify the question?
I don't have a question. It's only a comment to the question that he said.
Oh, you are expressing your opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Doctor. I'm Maurice Andrea from South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Yeah, as you know that we are a newborn country. You have mentioned something about the digital principles of journalism. I wish I could get more information about that. What are the principles of digital journalism? Thank you. Otherwise, sir.
I think the other part of Sudan is in finding unrest. Am I right? Not in South Sudan. Am I right? The army and paramilitary is fighting.
Come again, I didn't get you, sir.
No, the other part of Sudan is much more unrest.
Yes.
No, we are from South Sudan,
You
sir.
are from South Sudan.
Yeah.
That's what I am telling.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, the other part is
Sudan is also a country with humongous natural resources, including gold. Well, that's again a different political economy, which we have to speak on some other time. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. My name is Muhammad Azmuti from Palestine.
From Palestine.
Yes, Palestine.
Are you from the Gaza or West Bank?
West Bank, from Jenin especially.
Yeah.
I think you know what happened in Palestine because this is a very difficult situation in Palestine. My question is how we can reach more people through social media, especially we facing a restriction, especially on Facebook in Palestine from Meta. And other application on social media. How we can reach more people to give him more information about anything. Thank you.
Well, I do agree, as I told in the case of Gambia, if there are restrictions on the platforms in your own country, well, you have the methods of overcoming that restrictions through virtual private VPNs and all that. Well, it's a kind of risky game, so I don't venture to advise you. But you can always, whatever limited freedom you have, to possibly share that information with like-minded people, others in other parts of the world also. For example, a person like me, I am a great advocate of Palestinian cause. In all my videos, I have been strongly arguing for Palestinians' right to homeland and the two-state solution which United Nations has accepted. More recently, I spoke on how more and more European countries are recognizing Palestine. President Trump is in UK today. He expressed his disappointment over UK recognizing Palestine. So I spoke on how the France, UK, United Kingdom is responsible for creating Israel. But still it is now recognizing Palestine. I do agree that it hardly matters on the ground as such, but it has its own utility. Slovenia banned far-right minister from Israel entering into the country, the first member of the 27-member European Union to do that. And Netherlands followed it. Germany said we won't supply arms if you attack Palestinians. So there are friends elsewhere to speak. So that is one way of sharing that information in however safe manner you can, so that the information which you want to express can be expressed by someone else who have greater freedom. So if you want to communicate to your own people, you can't avoid, you have to work in that limitation only. I'm sure there is certainly some advantage when I'm watching you, listening you speak in such a good English from such a wide range of countries. I'm sure you are not a representative of the society where you are coming from. All Palestinians will not speak like you. All Gambians will not speak like our friend. So therefore you have a special responsibility to utilize the talent you have to communicate you to your own countrymen, but you'll have to remain in the context in which. So you have to use the existing social media. You should have, if your own country has a social media, for example, China has a lot of restriction, but it has its own social media. So you'll have to use the freedom which you have. So that and continuously try to expand that freedom. That's the only way out also.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, sir, for your presentation. So my name is Amadou. I'm from Liberia.
Liberia?
And, yeah.
I think you speak very good English because Trump was surprised when your president spoke in such a good English. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is it the same country when Liberian president met President Trump? The question which Trump asked is, how do you speak such a good English?
So,
Am I right?
So, madam, thank you for the speaker. I think he's a very knowledgeable man. He's very informed. So, sir, mine is a bit of concern. So, looking at the future of journalism and with the advancement of technology, so whenever journalists hear AI, that's artificial intelligence or machine learning, they are always curious to know what is the future of journalism. And then you strike a very good point when you say that journalists should always shouldn't be the slave to the tools, but instead the tools should be the slave to journalists. But then my problem is this, because journalism is the art of communication, but the people to whom we communicate, most of them are slaves to the tools. So how can we maintain the audience? I mean, if we take to your advice and say we will be on top of our game and then make sure we control the tools. But what is that one thing? Because, I mean, I've heard a lot of justification, but I still don't feel that level of comfort to say that. Because if we are in control and the people whom we speak to are not in control, that means there is some reality that in the long run, there will be a clash. So I want to know that one thing that we need to do apart from just reporting or communicating to ensure that the people we are reporting to or communicating to can be on top of the game to ensure that they are not slave to the tools, specifically when it comes to machine learning and AI.
Well, it's a very quite interesting question. You're right. His question, if I summarize, a journalist will use technology as tools. But if the audience are indiscriminate users of technology, what to do? Am I right? That is the question. Yeah. So, am I right? That is the question. So, your own country is an example of what colonialism can do bad to the country, but colonialism also taught you good English also, like how it taught to my country also. We are ahead in the information technology world, much better than Chinese, not because Chinese are not hardworking. Britishers have taught us English, though they have exploited a lot from us. In our country, an illiterate will speak a couple of English words. So similarly, there are advantages and disadvantages. You are right, audience are indiscriminate consumers of social media content. So the problem is well placed. There is a lot of trivial information pervading in the social media. When I wanted to start my YouTube channel, by then I was also a prominent face on television. I did some market research, pre-testing. I asked friends like you, I want to start my own YouTube channel. Then all of them advised not to do it. It's a waste of time. Nobody will watch you. You are a very serious-minded analyst. But social media is trivial. Social media is flamboyant. Social media is absolutely undesirable content pervades social media. Why do you enter that useless space? I said, because it is useless, I want to enter. What is the use of entering useful space? What is the use of teaching a knowledgeable guy? You have to teach somebody who is not knowledgeable, am I right? The first priority. Sometimes you may have to teach knowledgeable people also, but generally speaking. So I said, how much a percentage of social media users will be like this? They said 99%, they said. Then I said 1% I can use them. There are 1,000 journalists who cater to the 99% of trivial, frivolous content. But there is no competition for that 1%. I will grab that 1% space. And I started working on that. Today what I am, with over 1 million subscribers, earning more than what I used to earn as a professor before retirement. So I am reaching out to millions and millions of people. With all humility, I will tell you, with all humility, you are going to Warangal tomorrow. If I am with you on the road, at least 10 people will come and meet you. 10 people will come and meet you. I was coming to give a lecture here. The previous speaker, am I right? Dr. Kishore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he met me while coming here and said, sir, one selfie before you go. So the earlier speaker wanted to take a selfie before I entered this. How did this achieve? With all humility, this was possible only thanks to media to begin with and social media later. It becomes you a celebrity, it becomes you popular. These times my wife complained, I can't come with you to a cinema, I can't come with you to a restaurant. So because 10 people will flock you to take photographs. So I'm losing privacy, she says. So what should I do? I'm a small man, but that's the problem. That's the glamour associated with the screen, not my problem. So I do agree, audience are like that. I don't like it. When somebody says, sir, I am your fan, I don't like it because I'm not a fan of anybody. Believe me, I'm not a fan of anybody. I'm a fan of content. I'm a fan of learning. But you have to respect them. You have to respect them. Somebody asks a selfie, how can you deny that? So the point I'm telling is, there is a space in every world. The social media users are not intelligent. Social media users are frivolous. But there is sufficient space in that frivolous, trivial. I will tell you my own experiences. People say that only entertainment sells on digital space. Frivolous things, trivial things sell or watch on digital space. But I spoke on Keynesian economics. There's a video on Keynesian economics on my channel which has garnered nearly 2 lakh views. So there are people, all kinds of people in social media. You have to continuously create taste. You have to create media literacy also. You have to educate the audiences also. It's a long effort, it can't be done by you alone. But as it is a long time, you try to educate. But you can't run away from the situation. People are not using these tools intelligently, but you have to use them intelligently to make people use intelligently also.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Husna Ali Suleiman from the United Republic of Tanzania. I would like to thank you for the good presentation, of course, informative one. My question is, I'm still in the digital age, but please allow me to ask in terms of public relations perspective, as I am a public relation practitioner. When you, in posting in social media, when you post something concerning your organization, so the audiences will be commenting negative comments concerning what you have posted. And as you know, one of the role of public relation practitioners is to maintain the positive reputation of their organization. And if you turn off the commenting, so you won't be engaging the audience. So I want to hear from you, your opinion, what to do. If you turn off commenting, you won't engage the audience. If you go to the comment section and reply the real negative comments concerning your organization, you won't be maintaining the positive reputation. So I just need your...
No, it's a wonderful dilemma. I thought that it is there in India, it's there in Tanzania also. Perhaps because India and Tanzania are very good friends. So it's a serious problem. Simple solution is allow people to comment. You don't read comments. I don't read comments at all. As a result, I lose some useful feedback also. My wife almost once in 3 months advised me, is it necessary to speak on YouTube? Because my wife can't tolerate even a single comment on her husband. Am I right? Normally women are very protective of their husbands.
Sure.
Not the men, unfortunately, quite often. So I may be a little bad, but it's a fact. Let us accept it. Women are more productive. So they can't tolerate somebody calling their husband useless fellow, nonsense. So, but my point is, remember always, there are certain occupational hazards. If you are a doctor, you are more vulnerable to infectious diseases. Am I right?
Yes.
COVID, the first category of people who are affected are frontline people like doctors. So when you are a doctor, you are vulnerable to infectious disease, you are vulnerable to hepatitis B. If you are a traffic constable, you are vulnerable to dust allergy. You are maintaining traffic on the road, you can't say dust, I have a dust allergy. You are a habitual speaker like me and you are more vulnerable to throat pain. Am I right? You are a soldier in army, you are more vulnerable to possible hostile attack. So you are a driver running a car throughout the day, you are more vulnerable to accidents. Similarly, people in public life are vulnerable to abuses. You should have that kind of courage. If you are a cinema actor, if you are not popular, nobody will bother about you. If you are popular, when there are 90 people appreciating you, there are 10 people who will criticize you also. You can't expect 100 people to appreciate you. So, if you are a popular leader, even if you are a Tanzanian Prime Minister, I am sure there are thousands and thousands of people who are opposing him.
Yes.
So, you can't avoid. If you are in public life, be audacious, be courageous. So, don't be too sensitive to negative comments. That is number one. Number two, sometimes don't care those comments. The moment you care them, you react to them, their game is won. They want you to divert. I have a disorder, personality disorder. If somebody abuses me, I'll speak with greater vigor. So I'll speak more. So some very rare, now and then if it is inevitable, you can answer to their criticism, but not necessarily referring to a particular person, because otherwise you will become bold and say, oh, you have commented to you replied to me, I will ask more questions.
Yes, yes.
So never allow that fellow to be happy with commenting.
Okay.
Then you try to answer it in a very generic form, not referring to that particular comment. That's the second method. Third method is, you can have techniques in social media also. You can delete the comment. You can have a button which says comments can be published only after they are approved by the admin. And you can also block that fellow. But problem comes is when you are very popular. I used to do it at the beginning. Now I get thousands of comments every day. So it is humanly not possible to block those fellows, to comment them. But there is another technique. Today what is happening is, if somebody admonishes me or abuses me, 20 of my supporters are coming on that fellow. So how can you say Professor Nageshwar like that? You are useless fellow, they are telling. So my own audience are reacting.
Your fans.
So my fans, quote unquote fans, are reacting. So that is the battle won for me. So my army is expanding. And believe me, those fellows who are abusing you are also helping you to grow, as you rightly said. If there are comments, there is engagement. If there is engagement, your online presence increases. Algorithm doesn't understand whether that fellow is appreciating or abusing you. It only understands that there is some action, so immediately it multiplies the viewership.
Okay.
So that is the weakness of algorithms. So if you stop comment section, you will become less popular. So try to convert the disadvantage into advantage. Vietnamese leader Ho Chi Minh once said, turn the disadvantage into advantage. You have to turn the disadvantage into advantage. That's the only way. So ultimately you should have the thick skin to absorb the negativity. So otherwise you can't be in public life. So I spoke here for more than an hour.
Thank you.
Can I guarantee that all of you like my lecture? May not be. Some of you may not like me, some of you may like me. Even if you don't like me, you may not tell openly. That's a part of life. If I don't come for lecture, nobody will dislike me, nobody will like me also. The problem is also, when you are in public life, you are vulnerable to useless fellows, anonymous fellows commenting. But these days, artificial intelligence is also acting to remove such useless content. But you can't completely eliminate the menace. AI will help you to reduce it, but completely you can't eliminate. Quite a knowledgeable group. That is, I'm really happy because many of the points which I did not tell are coming now. Because I have another personality characteristic. If you provoke me, I'll speak more.
Yeah.
So that's the characteristic of a communicator. So if you provoke me more, I will speak more also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the quintessential journalist, and not only a quintessential journalist, an astute academician, and who with all intrepidity fearlessly places his views and his expressions and his ideas. And let me share a fact with you. He is one and only the professor who has won the MLC election on as an independent, not having any affiliation with any established
MLC is an upper house of our legislature.
Yeah, it is the upper house of our legislature, and he is one and only academician, and of course he is a practicing journalist also, but without any political affiliation, who has won that position. And give him a big round of applause. And yeah, and look, yeah. And look at the
I am a journalist by training, teacher by profession, and was a legislator by accident.
Yeah.
But I am the basic thing that runs in everything is journalism.
And look at the kind of oceanic knowledge that sir possesses, like one of the delegates also was mentioning, and you were really appreciating. This is the way a communicator has to have. He has to keep himself abreast of what is happening, especially the journalist. When you are talking, and when yesterday sir was inquiring about what are the topics that have been covered and who are the participants. Of course, though we do share all this with him, but the idea of that particular inquiry was to relate to what he is speaking. And they mention about a country, he has a relevancy to that country, whether in terms of his knowledge, in terms of expression of the current affairs of that particular country. That makes the speaker more relevant and more connected to the audiences. That's why when he says, someone was saying it is your fans, and yes, he has the fans. Not he is a special celebrity here in Telangana. He is not a political leader. He is not a famous or popular film star. But still, like Sir said, he has really many fans. Even now, while he leaves also, you might witness many people would be vying to take. Someone were waiting there, sir, actually. People are waiting outside. I said that still the lecture is on. And sir, thank you so much. The things like I request all of you to please go to his YouTube videos and kind of things like normally sir doesn't have time, but because of his academic inclination, sir is coming and sharing his experiences and his when he talks about his availability on the digital media platforms, it is only to enrich you like how a person can emulate himself, excel himself in the kind of the digital era that we have. Sir, beholden to your time, knowledge and the kind of expertise that is invested with the institute and with our delegates, and we can't thank you enough for your time and the knowledge, and we share your details also with all the delegates, sir.
Thank you, madam. In fact, I request you to share my phone number.
Yes, sir.
The best way to reach me is to send a WhatsApp message.
Yes.
So if you just tell me you are so and so, I will get back to you.
Yeah.
So if you call me, if I don't lift your phone, normally if there are anonymous numbers, so there are, as the Tanzanian delegate said, there are people who call to abuse you also. So I may be misled whether this is a correct number or some anonymous number. So give a WhatsApp message. I will always reply. If some of you are at a very early stage of digital journey, or if you are not at all entered the digital journey, I will personally also help you in entering into the digital age with the limited knowledge and experience I have.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a big round of applause for the kind.
Thank you, friends.
And sir, we will have a picture with you here,
Yeah,
sir. May I request all of you to please quickly get assembled here. Get